Okay, man, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Now, come on, now crank this motherfucker up.
Break it down like this.
Hello, Internet. Gino, that Guido Greco here again with another episode of Deep Listens, and today, it brings me no joy to say that we are going to be talking about the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, Sonic is dead, and we are going to figure out who killed him. And it's not Sonic 06, the game we've discussed previously. That's not what killed him. In fact, it was a murderer. So joining me, as always, to discuss all things Sonic the Hedgehog, Pete Busby. Hello, Pete.
Hello.
Gotta go
brings
fast.
Gino. It brings Gino no joy, but it brings me a little bit of joy. This week's fun fact is actually fun in honor of this horrible, harrowing occasion. Quick one, too. Did you know that manatees' nipples are in their armpits?
No, how dare you tell me that?
Yep, now you know.
Why?
Why are they, or why did I tell you?
Both.
I can only answer the latter, and it's because you needed to know.
Are other they're not a porpoise. Are seals? Do seals also have this affliction? Are porpoises also like that?
Gino, you're really going to blow up my search history by making me Google seal
Save
nipples
search
now?
on.
Seal
That will not
nipples.
save you.
No, they're like closer to their flanks.
Okay. So I don't want to know. So if I ever see a
No more
manatee
questions.
wearing like a comical bikini, that's not where those should be. They should be.
No,
in
yeah,
their
they'd
arm.
be in their armpits. Yeah.
Gross. All right. That other voice you heard is the Mistress of Games, M. Palladino. Hi, M.
Hello. I believe there is a murder afoot, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. And I wish I had read The Murder on the Orient Express so I could quote it. You know?
I mean, it doesn't have a lot to do with this game other than there's a train.
We're on a train, and there's a murder.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah, there's no overlap beyond that.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
I wish that they had the end of this be that everyone killed Sonic the Hedgehog.
Spoilers for a 100-year-old murder mystery.
Yeah, spoilers.
Do you know, I'm pretty sure she's the greatest selling author of all time.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was one of those things where it's like just the Bible has outsold her.
Big ups to Agatha Christie.
There's another fun fact.
I apologize. I was close.
Wins.
Yeah, only outsold by the Bible and Shakespeare. She's the best-selling novelist of all time.
Damn it, Shakespeare. Jerk.
He's hard to compete with.
He is. He made a lot of things. You know, in a lot of ways, he was a rapper. Did you know that?
Gino, I swear to God. You're an English major, for God's sakes. Control yourself.
In a lot of ways. Just turn chair backwards, put hat on backwards. Hello, teens. In many ways, Shakespeare was a rapper. All right, before we discuss the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, our normal housekeeping, you can get in touch with the show at DeepListensPod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections, and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. That is our email address where you can write us in. You can support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens, which would get you access to our Discord. It would also put us closer to the 40 patron goal, which is, I believe we're going to be playing Mass Effect Andromeda alongside the Off the Deep End folks. I believe that's the 40. And then 50, if we get to 50, there's going to be a vote, and it's going to be a lot of bad games on that list.
Yep.
We've discussed several bad games. Duke Nukem Forever was one of them. So, support the show to make us play bad games for you. So you don't have to. We'll report on them. But like I said earlier, if you help out on the Patreon, if you join the Patreon, you would get access to our Discord, which might lead you to be on the Discord report.
The Discord report. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. This week on the Discord report, it sounds like there's how would you say your experience with Final Fantasy, World of Final Fantasy has been going? Bad?
Extensive.
It's longer than I'd like. It's not bad. It's just aggressively mediocre knockoff Pokemon in a lot of ways. As like through the lens of Kingdom Hearts. Like, what if Pokemon had
Weird.
Kingdom Hearts' storytelling sensibilities?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep, that's what you have to imagine. What if Pokemon had Kingdom Hearts' storytelling sensibilities and was longer than it needed to be?
Well, we find out what happens when Kingdom Hearts had Pokemon in Dream Drop Distance, which had a Pokemon mechanic. So
That's true. And
Yeah.
this is a different Pokemon mechanic. I'm enjoying it more than my FF podcast co-hosts, it would appear. I don't love it, but I'm not like, I don't want to kill anything because I'm playing this, and it seems like my co-hosts may have a different perspective on that.
Is this Power World's fault somehow?
No, I don't
I
believe
don't
so.
think so. I think Pal World is much more recent than this game.
This is Toe's fault, which if you listen to our first World of Final Fantasy podcast, you can find out about Tosei, or Toe's, the Japanese game developer, one of the most prolific game developers of all time. They are who you go to if you want an entirely competent game using your IP, which will violate none of your internal rules about that IP. That's what they're famous for. So their games function. They will always run. They will come in on time and on budget. They will do exactly what you pay them to do, and not 1 ounce more. So yeah, that it's going okay. World of Final Fantasy. I'm not super mad about it, but other people seem less thrilled.
Some people are very mad at it.
Are big
So,
mad. Let's
yeah.
say.
Other than that, we've got a lot of Monster Hunter going on in the video games channel. Have we played a Monster Hunter game on this show before?
We have not, and
Oh.
God willing, we never will.
They're not that bad.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's Monster Hunter. The people who like Monster Hunter scare me, and I don't know what to make of the games as a result.
Easily scared, to be fair.
Just all the time.
Yeah.
Terrified. Have you played a Monster Hunter game, Em?
Yeah, I like Monster Hunter World. That was probably the most recent one I played. I tried to play one on it had to be on the PSP, years ago. I was like, this seems hard, and I couldn't figure out how to actually, catch the monster. I was, putting traps down and stuff, and I was like, I don't understand. It's not catching it. And then I think I only had the demo, and I was like, I am not going to pursue this further.
What's the premise? Is it like Pokemon, like you're collecting monsters for your squad?
No, it's you are just you go out and you kill big monsters, and then you skin them for parts.
Oh.
And then you use that to make better equipment, and then you go out and do it again. And the combat is actually pretty good. Yeah.
So it's like Shadow of the Colossus without any of the stuff that made it cool?
They're smaller than that.
It's more like Dark Souls.
Yeah. I mean, combat-wise,
Combat-wise, It's about animation priority and big, slow attacks and wind-ups. But it's goofy instead of being deathly serious.
Also, there are little cat companions that hang out with you.
That's cute.
Yeah, they pick up stuff for you, and they throw you potions.
And you can cook in a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's a franchise that hit maximum popularity early on, when it came out on the PSP because it was very big on Japanese trains for commutes. It was a big commuting game.
Because why? It's like you can get like a quick 20 and then put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get a quick 20. You can hunt a monster. It had local co-op too, so you could like play with someone on the train with you. And then it is also infamous if you look up Monster Hunter: The Claw, because on the PSP the controls were not good, but people wanted to play it anyway. So a bunch of people developed a way of holding the PSP that's just like deeply messed up, and a lot of people got carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
So that's great. Yeah. So
They had some issues, but I think they worked out the like face button situation in recent versions.
yeah, they like that is no longer the problem. That is no longer
Yeah.
a problem, I should say. It doesn't seem like the series is bad. It just seems like, it's maybe not my jam, but maybe one day someone will pick it and we'll find out that I'm wrong.
Perhaps.
And I'll definitely admit it if I am. All right. Is anything else on the Discord? I think those are
No.
the main things. There's no food crimes that I can see.
Not recently. I mean, I did post a really messed up pizza, which isn't a pizza.
You did.
That was the only food crime recently.
Describe it to Pete.
Okay, so Pete, imagine a pizza. Picture a
Okay.
pizza in your mind's eye.
Yeah.
Now, put tempura on it. Okay.
Like just the batter, like crackly bits.
I don't know if it's just the crackly bits or if it is like actually just picture like some tempura form and then we'll see where we
Okay.
get to.
Okay.
So now you're going to put fried squid rings on it. Okay. Like put like
Okay.
5 of those on there. And now liberal assortment of popcorn chicken just dropped over on top of it.
What's going on here?
Okay, and then in like the clock, like 1 through 12 positions, put an Oreo in the crust.
No,
How's that?
It's counting
that
down to
sound?
your doom.
Yeah,
no,
how's
don't
that
make me
sound to
participate
you?
in this. Sounds terrible.
I don't know where this comes from, but I found the image on the internet, and I wholesale just put it in the food channel and left the description.
I don't think that's anyone's culture, though, so it's okay to make fun of it.
I don't know.
This
I don't
isn't-
know what. I could not tell you.
The Oreos honestly look to me like this might be fake. The Oreos in the picture don't look right. They look photoshopped in.
If
Do you
why
think-
would you Photoshop Oreos in?
I don't know why you
mean-
would do any of this, but there's
that's
something unsettling about it that makes me think that this might be an AI image.
Maybe this is an AI creation.
The more I look at it.
Yeah. Would you like to show Pete the image? Let's see.
I
I'll
don't,
just-
but you can show Pete the image.
Here, Pete. Have a look. Here, let me copy the image into the chat. Boop. What do you think of that?
Oh,
Hmm.
well, I was picturing it wrong,
Oh.
but it looks terrible.
I was picturing it wrong. This is way worse.
Yeah, this is what. Those are is that the popcorn chicken? The like red
Yes.
red
Yeah,
pieces?
Like pink sauce or something on
Are you
it.
sure it's tempura, not mozzarella sticks?
I
I
mean,
don't know.
what is mozzarella sticks if not a fancy tempura?
Yeah, cheese tempura. I guess you're right.
Mhm.
Horrible. All of it horrible.
Yeah. I did
Speaking
not
of
do a
horrible,
reverse image search, but
speaking of all of it horrible, the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Sorry, this game's not horrible, but Sonic the Hedgehog sure is. Em, you picked this game. Tell me a little bit about it.
so it's Amy Rose's birthday, and we are going to have a murder mystery party aboard the Mirage Express, which is a train that only does these sorts of party experiences.
But
So-
can drive, can move. I was under the
Yes,
impression
yeah.
it was stationary for
No,
most of
it's-
this game.
It's going somewhere. I
Yeah.
don't. It doesn't explain where the destination is. It probably is on just like a 2-hour track or something. So Harley's sending me pizza. The pizza.
No.
No, I don't
Bad.
need to know this. We're past it. We're not going to dwell on this. So, it's Amy's birthday. We're going to have a murder mystery party. Someone is going to die. We have all of our favorite Sonic characters, such as Tails and Rouge and Vector and
Espio.
Espio? Yeah. Ezio is the one from Assassin's Creed.
That's Ezio.
Yes. I apologize. And then Blaze, Blaze is here. Shadow
Blaze
is here. Yeah. Knuckles. Is that everybody? That's everybody. And Sonic.
And Sonic, yeah.
And also,
the
And
Chows.
you.
and we are here as well in the form of a new employee aboard the train. It's our first day at work. Our job is to run the microwave. And
That's it.
I guess we can help take tickets, but that's not actually our job.
And it's
keep
your
the
boss's
guests
last
safe.
day.
Yes. Our boss is retiring after 32 years on the job, which is very specific. I don't know why 32?
Is that
how old Sonic is as a franchise?
That's what I was gonna
Unclear.
ask.
Question.
I'll look that up while you say that.
Yeah. So, we all board the train. We are ready to have a fun time. And then a murder will happen. And who will die but Sonic the Hedgehog in this game called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
32 was the age of the Sonic franchise when this game came out.
Oh, nice. Good get.
Yay.
I don't like that I'm as old as Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh shit,
it's
I am
horrifying.
too.
God, we're so old. I'd like to go on record as saying that this game was made entirely by cowards.
Why?
And we'll explain why later on as we go.
Yeah. First off, the premise. I mean, you can't have a game called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog and then have a murder mystery party.
Or you have the murder mystery party and then actually Sonic is really dead.
Yes.
And
Which
not
they
fake
tease.
dead. Yes.
They hint early on when you find Sonic. I mean, let's start at the beginning. What did we name our character?
Steve.
Did you put in a fun name?
I did. I always do.
I just made it this character myself, so I put M.
Oh, okay. And
What did you put?
You went with Steve?
I always go with Steve.
Oh, I called my guy Dork the Marmot.
Okay.
I didn't know that he was a quokka.
Mouthful.
He looked like a marmot, so I was like, well,
How many marmots have you seen?
enough.
I couldn't tell you. Like, if you showed me 30 pictures of groundhogs and told me they were all marmots, I'd be like, yeah, sure.
It's like, I don't know. He definitely looks like a dork. That's true.
Mm.
At first,
I spell marmot.
At first,
there's an O. Yeah, those are just groundhogs. There's not. They're not their own thing.
It's fewer characters, though. He was originally going to be Stud the Marmot, but then I looked at him again and went, "Nah, you're a dork."
Definitely not.
Apparently, marmots are the. Here's a third fun fact for you: marmots are the heaviest members of the squirrel family.
Huh?
Damn, girl.
Yeah, they thick.
Well, yeah. So I named Dork the Marmot, and you learn about taking tickets. And then you find out there's going to be a murder mystery. Everyone gets assigned a job and a train car to be in, and a dossier on what they're supposed to do, and no one else is supposed to know it. So the characters are defined how who has what job.
So in order, because everyone's in their own car of the train, Tails is the first one you meet. Tails is the detective, and his backstory is that his former friend, who is a flicky, for people who know what that is, it's the little bird.
Bird.
Yeah.
The robots in Sonic games.
Yeah. And his former friend went off to join Dr. Eggman, and he's very sad about that. And then next, Knuckles is in the saloon, and so he is like a cowboy.
He's a
He's a
sheriff.
sheriff.
He's the sheriff. Espio is a poet. He's hanging out with Vector, who is the butcher, which is an odd choice in this train.
Yeah.
They're hanging out in the library.
The library where
As
the butchers
butchers
hang
do.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Where else would the butcher be?
Yeah,
Not in the dining car, that's for sure.
no. Well, no one can be in the dining car, because that's where the body shows up. Anyway, Rouge, she's a... What is she?
She's
She's
an
a
not the...
businesswoman of some sort.
Yeah, she's like a businesswoman. Blaze is the businesswoman.
They're both businesswomen. One's an entrepreneur and one's a
Yeah.
Is
investment
that it?
person.
Yeah. They seem very closely connected. They're both hanging out in the casino car. And then Shadow is the locksmith. He's hanging out in the car. Was that
The
The
casino.
like
No, we already did
there's
the
like a-
casino.
band there?
It's the lounge car.
Lounge.
Okay.
Yeah, which if I can pause here as well. Butcher, like maybe for the kitchen. Why would a train need a locksmith?
That's just the people who are on the train. They're
Why
all
does the train need a sheriff?
Like another great question, sure. And a detective. That's a lot of law enforcement for one train.
true. Everyone is just going to the same place.
And
where
also,
this train is going.
Amy Rose and Sonic each get their own.
Oh, right.
Amy Rose is the journalist,
Yes.
and Sonic is a sea captain of some sort.
He's the captain.
The captain of the
train.
train. Yeah.
Mhm. And so he gets to go into the engine car.
And and Amy gets a birthday key that lets her into
Yes.
any room. Which sure.
Because she's the birthday girl.
We should also say something about this train.
Please do.
Yeah. That
Yes.
It's also powered, run, operated, in addition to the human staff, by a series of robot arms,
Okay,
which
hold
I'm
on.
sure will never come up again.
Yeah, the human staff is a bit of a
That's true. They just run the
misnomer.
microwave, and
Yeah.
apparently drive the route of a train that goes nowhere. Really?
Unclear why this is a train still.
It is a train, and
It is a
they're
train.
on it. And
They're on it.
At first, they say, everyone has to go to their room, and then there'll be a murder, and then Amy and Tails are going to try to figure out the murder with the help of you, and then you're going to be doing kind of point-and-click adventure stuff. So as soon as the game starts, the train goes into hyperspeed. It goes really fast. Amy and Tails and the player character get knocked into the dining car, or they get knocked into like the closet of the dining car, and they have to break out. This is where you learn the mechanics of this game. Pete, how do you solve mysteries? in the world of
Deduction,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Gino. Deduction.
Do
You do a little coin mini game
How dare
where basically
you?
what would it be called? I'm trying to think of like an analogy for it. Can't
It's an
think of
infinite
another game.
runner.
Yes.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you. You do an infinite runner where you have to collect a certain amount of coins. Rings.
Time
I'm
out.
sorry, they're not coins.
Stop. Rings. Gotta- How dare you? Hitting
You
the
need to collect.
fundamental building blocks of Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's just hedgehogs and rings. That's all it is. And I missed one of them. You need to collect a certain number of rings, at which point they basically give you the answer. So like you pick a piece of evidence. If that's the right piece of evidence, you do the infinite runner. If you get enough rings, they give you the next piece of the mystery.
I love that you just if you get a certain number of
Yeah,
gobos,
Yeah, yellow
jiggies,
circly doodads. Whatever they are, who cares?
you get enough jiggies, and then you can
Get some bling, and then
you get a Chaos Emerald
yeah, at the end there's a Chaos Emerald.
or idea
Yeah.
as it stands in this game. But yeah, what did we think of the Infinite Runner?
Did you think it was difficult at all?
I mean, I died maybe like once or twice, but it was mostly for lack of attention, probably.
I died so many fucking times in
Did you
stupid
really?
ways.
I died
Like
in a
when they
bunch of
introduce new
stupid ways.
stuff. Yeah, when it's
Yeah.
just like the ground drops, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I died.
Yeah. Sometimes I would hit the jump button and then there would be a hole like right after, and so I would be jumping directly into the hole and then I would die. And these get harder the further into the game you are. So the like last run, I guess, I messed that one up a lot.
I
And
appreciated that
Oh.
true to form, this is squirrely as hell.
yeah,
Just it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Look, you gotta.
you gotta run.
Make the controls.
You gotta go fast.
You gotta go fast, and it's gotta be squirrely, and you gotta feel like, you can die at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
What were you gonna say?
Also,
The other thing that usually killed me was just not getting enough rings. You need to get a certain amount of rings, and then you will have your big idea, because this is a contrived way of making a thinking mechanic, where you're like connecting logic, I guess. And so you need to get like 50 rings by the end of it. And sometimes I would get there and I would have like 49. I was like, well, shit. I would have to do the whole thing over.
also, like neither here nor there, but Sonic is terrible inspiration for a detective. Like the way they get geared up for this whole adventure is somebody's basically just like, oh, well, what would Sonic do? And they're like, well, he would sprint straight ahead as fast as
Yeah.
possible with no regard for what's going on. And you're like, oh, like you want, the police to do. Sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sherlock Holmes famous for just plowing ahead with no consideration.
Yep. Disregarding all obstacles in his path.
He needed that cocaine so much. Or opium.
I think it was both, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes you got to go up, sometimes you got to go down.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the day.
But yeah, you're basically point and clicking. You're getting pieces of evidence, and then you have to present the correct piece of evidence at the appropriate moment, and then you'll do a mini game so that Dork the Marmot can figure out how to explain why, a broken hammer was used to like try to break something, or I don't know, like why was a blow dart a weapon? It's usually a pretty self-explanatory thing that he's trying to explain, but that's how
Dork is not a bright
gameplay.
man.
No, he's not. And everyone's like, why are you here again? Which is great. I like that everyone takes the player insert character and is just really apprehensive about them. You don't get to be cool at any point also, which I think is pretty good. It's mostly the other characters who get to do fun stuff, and you're just kind of there. So we find Sonic the Hedgehog when we find his limp body once you break out of the closet, and he mutters to Dork, like, unconscious, so tired. And then Dork tries to check his pulse, but isn't sure how, because everyone's wearing gloves, because it's a Sonic game.
Is that why?
I don't know. I don't think he knows how to take a pulse.
That's
But I
probably
He can barely use the microwave. Let's not ask Dork to do too much.
That's true. But I do like the image of Sonic the Hedgehog in a heap with a hat over his face. Like, that's pretty good.
It is. And Dork asks very few questions about what's going on. He's just like, oh, he's unconscious. Okay. No
Yeah, we're just
follow-up.
going to leave him here.
Yep, just leave his body.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you have a theory about what happened to Sonic?
I did.
Okay.
what did you think happened?
I assumed the conductor was Eggman in disguise.
Good
That
assumption.
That was my initial assumption as well. And what about
Okay.
you?
The first thing you get is the menu of the train, which includes chili dogs. And I thought,
chicken cordon bleu.
yeah, which is an odd choice. So I thought that Sonic ate himself stupid and now was just lying there on the floor.
That would be
Or-
pretty good.
Yeah, either he did it to himself or it was the everyone on this train did it. And they didn't do that. So
No. So why was okay, let's work through the alibis. So first you run into Knuckles. Why didn't he do it?
He was playing games.
He was gaming.
They got a super monkey ball on this train.
Also, can you think of I knew Shadow was a tool already. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But can you think of more toolish behavior than putting your high score as ultimate because you consider yourself the ultimate life form?
He does that.
He actually refers to himself
all
as
the
ultimate.
time. Yeah.
I liked that. I thought that was a good get. I liked also that he ran out of characters, so it's just ultimate. So that's great.
I mean, I think the reason for that is it would be really obvious if you went down the list and then it was Shadow.
Why is one of these not like the other?
Yeah. But the rest are like apple, orange. They're foods.
Which if they wanted to make it like a legit puzzle, that would have been a good time to bring in cream. Because I'm ooh, it's still kind of a food, but it's also one of you.
It's also one of you freaks.
Mm-hmm.
Why was Vector the crocodile not the murderer?
He was also playing games.
He was also gaming, I think.
Yeah.
He and Knuckles were hanging out. Vector was supposed to be in the library car, but he was I'm bored because I can't read.
I don't read.
So then, he went to play video games with Knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
Why was Espio not the murderer?
Espio was reading. Just in the library car the whole time reading.
Just quickly memorizing a train manual like people do.
Sight reading, memorizing a train manual, and then when you're like, hey, how come you didn't see Shadow at any point? He's like, and then you have to come up with an alibi for him, which is always a good sign. Why was Rouge not the murderer?
This one's so funny.
Yeah, she was plotting a heist.
Yes.
The train has a Fabergé chow egg in it, and she was looking for that the whole time.
I want to raise. All right, I'll wait because it'll spoil something we'll get to later. But I have a lot of questions about the geometry and construction of this train.
Yeah, I was also going to ask about that.
Yes. So when you encounter Blaze and Rouge, they're doing a caper, and they want you to help with the caper. So you basically talk through how you're going to break into this separate section of the train, which is behind an elevator?
Yep.
Yeah, you go up an elevator, and then there is you are in already a very large room, and then over you is another large room with a gigantic safe in it.
Yes. And in that safe is the Fabergé egg.
Yes.
Pete, what is your confusion here?
So first off, apparently it's a double-decker train. Not only is it a double-decker train, both of these decks are massive. And that safe has to weigh, I don't know, 30 tons?
Mm-hmm.
What is it supported on? And even setting aside, this isn't even my biggest quibble with the train design. It isn't the double-decker part. It's another part we'll get to next. But this is a magical train.
That it is. And this is not even to say the implications for the center of gravity of having a very large safe on the second floor of a train that takes corners.
Yeah, also, we see the outside of the train, and it is not any bigger than a normal train.
It's a train.
Yep, it's just like a passenger train as you would get pretty much anywhere, So it doesn't make sense. Also, the library is super tall, too. I think they weren't planning on it being a train.
I have a good explanation. I have a good thing that I think we haven't considered yet.
Okay.
As we remember in Sonic 2006, a game we all played, Sonic the Hedgehog, when next to a normal human woman, is very small.
Okay,
so you think it's a human-sized train?
And these are
from the
guys.
outside.
Yeah, they're little people. Okay. They're little animals. They're not that tall. When they're next to regular people, they're not big at all.
Is the conductor normal human size?
He seems like he's a Big the Cat. So he's probably
I-
bigger than the rest of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's big? He's not human sized though,
He's
right?
pretty much human sized in
Is
Sonic
he?
Adventure. Yeah, he's
Okay.
bigger than the other ones, as his name implies.
Yeah.
True.
But Vector is also pretty big.
He is. He
Hmm.
is. This is true. He's bigger than most of them. So
Maybe
this-
it's a Doctor Who situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's timey-wimey. Who cares?
We're not going to question it any more than we have already.
Yes. So you do a caper,
Yep.
and you steal the Fabergé Chow egg, and then you twist it.
Hold
And,
on.
Yes.
The caper is so funny because you go through the plan, you like plan out what you're gonna do. You're gonna be like distracting this guard, and then someone's going to like do basically a bunch of ways that you get the security card that he has. And then when it comes time to actually do the plan, it just like cuts to up in the safe room. You're like, wow, I'm glad everything went according to plan.
Do you remember how you get the security guard's attention?
Oh, you like tell him someone didn't put something on a coaster.
Yep. Somebody's putting a drink down without a coaster, leaving
Yeah.
rings.
Yep. And they're like, despicable. That's worse.
You
That's
can't
the
leave
worst.
rings in a Sonic game. You take rings.
Ooh, get
Got
him. Let the man cook.
I like that
Also,
you have an option to let Rouge the Bat try and seduce the Chow, and
Yeah.
they're like,
Yep.
the Chow's a family man.
Pick that one. It's funny.
I also don't remember from Sonic 06, which I'm not going to bother investigating. So let's say it's the first appearance of Blaze the Cat.
It is.
I don't remember them mentioning her being a princess.
They didn't. I think it comes up later.
Does it? There's a lot of lore here that I'm missing in between Sonic 06 and the murder of Sonic.
They also say that she comes from another dimension. I think they retcon basically 06 to never exist in the Sonic canon, but they just
Smart.
kept Blaze the Cat because
I
they
think
find
she
her interesting.
mentioned like coming from another dimension in this one,
Okay.
She
but
does.
only offhandedly. They do not investigate that at all.
No,
And Silver never shows up. Totally fine with me.
no, they're like, no, we want the good characters. Blaze
Yeah.
the Cat. No to Silver the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
So once you get the Fabergé Chow egg, they twist it because it's apparently a timer, and then it starts ticking, and then you have to figure out how to deal with this Fabergé Chow egg. How many different things did you try, Em?
2.
Okay, only 2. I used all.
There-
I did all of them.
Oh wow. There were probably like 30 different options on the screen, and I guessed. Oh shoot, what was it?
I did toss it back in the safe.
Yes, that was it. I was like, put it in the safe and then close the door, and if it blows up, then you're fine. And then they were like, well, the safe won't lock, so what do we do? And then the next one I picked was, let's just see what happens.
And he jumped immediately from try one thing to accept our fate.
Yes, exactly.
I was a more
literally-
reasonable version of either of you.
What'd you do?
I did more, but I didn't quite get through all of them.
I mean, accept my fate seemed like that seemed like a bad option. It seems like it's a ticking bomb. So I tried putting it to sleep. That didn't work. Rocking it like a baby didn't work. Twisting the timer more. That didn't work either. Setting it on fire. Blaze wasn't down for that. What other options did I have? Tails. Cut the blue wire. Telling Tails to cut a wire. That didn't work. He's like, what wires? It's like, I don't know. It's a bomb,
wires.
right? But yeah, it turns out that the Fabergé Chow egg has a bedazzled Chow necklace in it. So there's even more bling inside of it, and that's the secret.
Yep.
And then you don't interrogate Blaze or Rouge. You just accept that, okay, it must have been a caper.
Yeah, they were doing this the whole time, obviously.
So why didn't Shadow kill Sonic the Hedgehog?
Shadow was walking the train distributing keys because he's a
As a
locksmith.
locksmith does. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's standard locksmith behavior.
I feel like Shadow doesn't know what a locksmith is for.
I feel like these game designers don't know what a locksmith is for.
I like that all of the characters are bad at the jobs they have to play,
Yeah,
except for Espio, who does poetry. I mean, it's not great poetry.
pretty
but
bad.
At least he's doing poetry.
Mhm.
I mean, he's out here memorizing instruction manuals. Like, he doesn't have time to be writing poems.
Yeah.
Yeah, why was Shadow locking all the cars? Em, what was Shadow up to?
Because Shadow came to this birthday party and realized everyone had presents for Amy except for him, and so in order to stall her as she made her way up the train, he was locking all the doors, but giving everyone keys so that they were safe in case anything happened, I guess. And then he was going to try and order her tickets to the what is it,
Hot Honey.
Hot Honey concert, which only releases at a certain time. And so he needed to wait for that. So he's like, I have an appointment. I gotta wait for the tickets to go on sale before I can buy them. So that's why
this train has a shitty computer. It has a crappy computer with a crappy printer, and Shadow's like, I don't understand human technology.
And that's why he printed out the home page and then threw it out. And the whole game so far, you've been checking all of the garbage cans if you're like me, I guess. And every time you're like, there's always something in the garbage can, and then there isn't. And then you finally get to this one, and you're like, aha, I told you. It's gotta be in the garbage can. That's where all the clues go.
Yeah, I did appreciate the always check the trash can joke.
Mm-hmm.
And I also appreciate that Shadow the Hedgehog is the type of person who would print the homepage on a web browser.
And show up to a birthday party and just be like, oh, what? We got gifts?
We gotta give stuff to... Oh.
As the ultimate life form, I was not born, and so I know nothing about birthdays.
Yeah, I also just want to ask, why was Shadow invited to this party? He seems like he's A, not a party person, and B, would Amy really invite Shadow over like Cream? Doesn't make sense.
Or the robot, or Big the cat.
Yeah, a lot of friends who could have come to this party. Wouldn't have been my first choice to invite Shadow, especially because sometimes he's trying to kill you. I don't know. That's just me.
I'm glad that they did, because Shadow trying to act like a normal person is kind of funny.
It is very funny.
Good for Amy to invite Shadow. Look, Shadow just wants to be included, Em.
True. I'm sorry, Shadow. You can come to the birthday party. You can come to my birthday party.
I forget why, honestly, but this is also where we learn the thing about the train that annoys me the most.
Okay, what's wrong with this train?
So the train has a secret passageway on the side of it in a wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
And this passageway leads to one of the previous cars.
Yes.
But this is a train. Clearly you can see the secret passage and wardrobe going off to the left towards the side of one of the cars. But I guess then there's a false wall that runs the entire length of the train, because the secret passageway then has to double back to reach a previous car. They're all in a row. It's a train.
Yeah, there's clearly there's a false wall that runs the length of 3 of the cars. Even including in the bends, there's a false section that can compress and turn as the train does. And so you can get from the lounge car to the library car.
Yeah, I didn't even consider that part, is that the secret passageway has to go across the train couplings.
Yeah. And there's a ventilation system which does the same thing. That didn't...
What is wrong with this train?
Trains are made so that none of the cars can be removed from the others. They are bespoke, and that is how trains are made. Everyone knows this.
Hold on. We're going to spoil something because we don't know who made the train. But once we learn who makes the train, I feel like this answers a lot of our questions.
It does. So
not only who makes this train, but who makes all the trains, apparently.
You know, this whole time I was like, Sonic 06, trains featured prominently in that game too.
It's true.
I guess this makes sense. But yeah, so you get to the conductor's car, and the conductor's missing. And at this point, we have to accuse someone of who murdered Sonic the Hedgehog.
And you get as many picks as you want.
Yeah,
you can get it wrong all day.
Did you get it?
I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
I probably picked Shadow because I was like, he's a jerk. Probably him.
He is a jerk. But the murderer was in fact Espio the Chameleon, who shot Sonic with a blow dart that incapacitated him at this birthday party, and he thought nothing of this. But it turns out someone manipulated him, because how did a blow dart get onto this train that checks people for guns and ammo? Huh?
Good question.
That is a plot point that comes up, that no weapon would be able to get onto the train, and that's why the Fabergé egg won't be a bomb, is because the train would have detected a bomb in the Fabergé chow egg. And Vector tried to bring a knife onto the train because he's a butcher, and the train stopped him. So who plotted the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog? Truly.
Oh, truly?
There's layers to it.
Yeah.
I mean, the train did. Dun, dun, dun.
This is by far the most interesting part of the entire game.
Yes.
And they don't care about it at all.
They don't. But
so
Pete, explain why.
Sure. The train, in what's become a theme of things falling in love with the wrong things, the train is basically in love with the conductor, who is about to retire, and the train can't stand to lose him. So the train goes to its creator, Dr. Eggman,
dun, dun, dun.
and says, I will catch Sonic the Hedgehog for you if you make my wish come true. And his wish is to have the conductor forever. Which is cool. Like, that's a very interesting twist. Train loves man. And they're just like, stupid train.
But as we find out, the train conductor is a wife guy through and through, so he would never settle for the train.
No, and I really enjoy Dr. Eggman explains. At this point, Dr. Eggman cuts in and goes like, hey, so I tell all of my robots that if they capture Sonic the Hedgehog, that I'll give them a wish. And most of my robots are idiots, so they only ask for dumb things, like my autograph. But this train's smart. It's got sentience. So I'm interested to see what it's going to wish for. Which is pretty good. And yeah, the train being like, 32 years we've been together. You can't leave?
You're just going to leave?
He's like, yeah, deuces.
I'm going to Spagonia.
Spagonia.
I'm going to go to Spagonia with my wife tomorrow.
Yep. It's his last day on the job, of course.
Yeah.
And he didn't even pack.
Yeah.
Ultimate wife guy move.
Yep.
And Eggman's like big train plan was, and this is actually like a pretty benevolent thing he did until it started murdering people, is that Eggman wants to build Eggland, which is the first I'm hearing of this as well. I assume that's part of the lore. But he noticed that the city had bad infrastructure, so he built them a high-speed rail line.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, Eggland will have
built all the trains.
It'll have to have good public transit, unlike this god-awful city. Yeah, and I love that they're like, well, Eggman, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to capture the Sonic the Hedgehog, and I assume make another death egg.
Yeah, and then somebody calls him out for it. He's like, "Why do you keep building this stuff?" And he's like, "Humans are scared of giant spears."
It's true.
Yeah, it's good. So yeah,
like-
you have to defeat the train with one final burst. When it's at this point, you find out that Sonic ended up in the final car after SBO knocked him out. There's a vent that runs the length of the train. That Sonic like fought his way through the arm of the train because it has many arms, and he ends up in the vent, and that drops him off in the earlier car. And then you fall back with Sonic, Dork the Marmot, and Sonic the Hedgehog end up at the bottom of the train, and then they fight their way up the train because the train cars, though they are sealed, are not a match for Sonic's spin attack. He gets everyone back, and then you have to defeat the train, and somehow you end up in front of the train fighting it.
Yeah,
Somehow.
and then Amy whacks it with her hammer,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it just kerplodes.
She whacks it on the nose with her hammer, but we were inside the train the whole time. Unclear how we
You
got
end
out
up
there.
outside the train, and you mess it up somehow. And yeah, you free the conductor, and you solve the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Everyone has a great time. They get a cake for Amy, and you get to
Yep.
decide what happened to Dork the Marmot after this event.
What did you decide?
For me, I decided that he stayed in the job. Then he won the lottery because my Dork the Marmot, when you're in the casino car, you can gamble on the slot machine.
Yeah, I was
Um,
going to ask about that.
I did it until there wasn't any more dialogue, and then I did it about 30 times more than that. So I figured Dork the Marmot was a degenerate gambler. So I figured, he'd probably hit the lottery at some point. And then he opened a supermarket and retired.
See,
Um,
I had myself quit the job immediately, also win the lottery, and then retire to space.
Pete, how did Dork the Marmot end up for you?
I quit the job, I won the lottery, and I opened a supermarket. Apparently, we all want to be lottery winners.
I mean, I forget what the other choice was.
Practice his singing.
Yes.
Dork ain't a singer. Look at him. That wasn't going to go anywhere.
The question is, though, you are telling this story as like the one time you met Sonic the Hedgehog, and we find this out at the very end, and then you're like, and then this and this and this happened. So I think you're just a fucking liar. I think Dork the Marmot is not a reliable narrator. And so that's how I will explain away all of the inconsistencies with this story.
Yeah, it's and Medius. I mean, it's a unreliable narrator situation.
So that's how we
It's
end up
Rashomon.
retiring to space. Yeah.
It's Rashomon. Shut your mouth, Gino.
Yeah, so that's the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. I kind of wish Pete, as you said at the beginning, these people are cowards. They didn't kill him.
They could have actually killed Sonic.
I can't believe that the Sega social media team, which is
Yeah.
the developer of this, was the Sega social media team. I can't believe they didn't have the heart to put an end to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Worth noting, this is a April Fool's Day release. It might be our April Fool's Day podcast, because that is next week, isn't it?
It is. This is technically supposed to come out before that,
Well,
but pretend that the day you're listening to this is April Fool's. Every day is April Fool's Day when you play The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
yeah.
This
So-
was a real brand engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And now whenever you think of April Fool's Day, you think of the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This is, I think this is the best Sonic the Hedgehog game we've played,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's what I was gonna say.
Probably.
This
I
is
don't
Much better.
remember
than-
Sonic Chronicles, but I assume it was terrible.
It was. Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood was not a good game. Shadow the Hedgehog also was bad. Sonic 06 is one of the worst things we've ever played. This is just kind of a mediocre point-and-click adventure game at the end of the day, with
Yeah,
bits
it's just
where you have to
nothing,
play a
really.
Sonic game, and that's a shame.
And the most confusing train ever built.
Yeah, by man or beast.
Just try not to think about it. I feel like this was not meant to be on a train, but I cannot find any sources to
It's definitely.
confirm that.
I mean, it's Murder on the Orient Express. That's what
Yeah.
they were going for.
It's a very
Yeah.
lackluster Agatha Christie reference. That, like, okay, first off, amongst like the Sonic demographic, I'm assuming this is for children. How many are like really big Agatha Christie fans?
All of them.
Yeah,
It's Venn
every
diagrams a
single one.
circle. Market research shows that the things the Sonic fans love the most is chili dogs, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie.
But yeah, that's the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, which means it is now my turn once again to pick a video game for us to play.
Are there any Sonic games left?
No, this was the last.
No, he
one.
died.
He died.
Oh, right. He's dead.
He's dead, so we don't have to play him anymore. Both God and Sonic are dead.
This game proves it.
So I am going to pick. I wanted. There's some genres of games that we haven't played very much on this show, and I thought I would tap into one of them, and that is the real time strategy RTS genre.
Ooh.
Oh.
Is the only one we played that half of that Jack Black game?
Yes, half of Brutal Legend is technically an RTS, but only barely. So if I was going to pick an RTS, I thought, okay, which one would I pick? And of course, Pete, how do you feel about the actor Tim Curry?
Oh, Tim Curry? I mean, he's great in Clue.
That he is. How do you feel about George Takei?
He's fine in Star Trek.
Well,
Is he
what if
in
I
this?
told you there's an RTS game with both of those people in it?
I only believe you because I assume you looked it up. I don't think you would just make that up.
There's other notable actors in this game that I'm picking that I'm setting up. Let me just quick let me get the full cast. The full cast of all these great actors. Do we have? No, I don't need the plot. I just need who are the people in this. Oh man, the guy who plays the J.K. Simmons.
Oh, who doesn't this game have?
We got a lot of people. Also, dang it, he's in Fargo. He's the murderer in Fargo, or one
William
of the
H.
murderers.
Macy?
The movie or the show?
The movie.
Oh, one of the murderers? It's not
Peter Stormata.
I was gonna say it's not Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
No, it's the other one.
Buscemi would be crazy get for this.
Who was J.K. Simmons in Portal 2?
He was
Cave Johnson.
Yeah.
One of the best characters we've ever had.
Yes. So the game that I am picking is Command & Conquer Red Alert 3.
Oh man, this is like even more deep listens than usual. We're jumping right to 3.
Yep.
Yes. It's got Randy Couture. It's got Malcolm McDowell. It's got Ric Flair.
Ric Flair is in this?
Ric Flair.
It's got Tim Curry. It's got
Nature
Gemma
Boy.
Atkinson. It's got Jenny McCarthy.
What? When did this game come out?
2008.
Whoa.
It's got, oh man, just so many people. So many good character actors and just generally great actors. And it's an RTS game, unfortunately also an RTS game. But yeah, this you've probably seen footage of this game floating around at some point.
May have seen a GIF, perhaps. One
Yeah.
particular moment.
I've been watching a lot of StarCraft content lately, so I'm feeling ready.
Good. That's excellent. That's perfect. And here's a little teaser for folks. If you are not aware of Command & Conquer Red Alert 3, here's a little plot. As the Soviet Union faces defeat at the hands of the Allied nations, General Nikolai Krukov, played by Andrew Divoff, and Colonel Antony Cherdenko, played by Tim Curry, use a time machine beneath the Kremlin to travel back to Brussels in the year 1927 and eliminate Albert Einstein, thus changing the future.
Okay.
So we get time travel, we get Marxism. What more could I ask for?
Yes. So there's a little tease for you. So next up, we are playing Command & Conquer Red Alert 3. Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, I'm excited to continue our path of increasingly surreal games.
Yes. Thank you, Em.
Thank you. I'm glad Sonic the Hedgehog is dead and can never return.
That's true. No one can make us play Sonic the Werehog. No one can make us play Sonic and the Black Knight. No one can make us play Sonic Colors. You sickos, he's dead. Let him lie.
Rest in
All
peace.
Right. Rest in
King.
peace, Sonic. Rest in power, King. All right. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can do so at DeepListensPod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. That's our email address. You can support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens. Till next time, peace.